Hello and welcome to this video. And the topic for today is one that we've touched on in other videos, but we're going to kind of delve in a little bit more deeper to that. And that is, do athletics or do participating in sports help you get into college? So stay tuned as we dive a little deeper into that topic. Uh, Here's some things that we really need to cover and talk about this. What do colleges want? How do athletics help you meet that? Athletics, whether you're a big athlete getting that scholarship or not, whether you even are going to compete athletically in college, did competing in athletics in high school give you things that are going to help you out? We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things related to the athletic training and how that prepares you for college. So stay tuned as we go into details on all those things. College admissions people, when they're looking through, the application packet, athletes stand out, and not always because of their athletic prowess, but because of what they typically bring to the table in terms of the intangibles. Things like being able to work in a team, perseverance, stick-to-itiveness, self-discipline, leadership skills. All these things, it is believed that athletes bring to the table through the training and competition that comes from athletics, right? So when they see a student being involved in athletics, particularly being involved for a number of years, they understand what it takes for an athlete. They know the teamwork, camaraderie, all those leadership things, all the practices and dedication, all those things that you need to have in order to make a team and stay on a team, be part of a team. And that's what college recruiters are looking for. So it brings you up a notch. Let me make something perfectly clear here. First of all, if you are a recruited athlete, right, where the school is actively trying to get you to come because they think you're a right fit for their team, and that doesn't matter whether it's D1, 2, or 3, right? You aren't getting athletic scholarships at D3 schools, but if you're still being recruited by the coach, that will boost your chances, all right? That's gonna raise you up. Now, if you aren't being recruited, what they are looking for again are those qualities that we just talked about, right? The leadership and perseverance and passion and ability to cooperate with others and all these things that may very well be developed in athletics and usually are. But they can also be developed in other things students do. So in those cases, being involved in athletics is not necessarily a game changer unless you, as the applicant, showcases what or how athletics have helped make you and shape you into the young person who's going to be a great asset for that school. Now, only 6% of high school athletes play in college, right? So it's a very small number. But as we previously stated, what athletics can do for you can really help you stand out. And if you aren't a recruited athlete, you need to showcase how that helps you develop into the person that you are to stand out amongst the other applicants. All right, so let's say you aren't a recruited athlete. All right, we've already said that if you're a recruited athlete by that particular school, it does help boost you up. But you aren't recruited. The edge that you're going to get, as just talked about, is by showcasing how your athletics, how your involvement in sports has given you something internally, habits maybe, discipline, ability to manage your time, ability uh, to be a leader, to showcase your enthusiasm, to connect with other people, whatever it is, you want to be able to showcase that, yeah, I was an average athlete, but in my journey as athletics, This is how it made me a better student, a better member of our school community, a better leader, better person. That's the message, right? That's what you're seeking out. That's what you're trying to showcase. And athletics does do that well. You just need to be able to figure out how you want to show it and tell it and showcase that for the admissions people. All right, so you're an average athlete. To be on that team, you have had to compete against other people, right? Maybe even in moments of competition, you've done okay, you've done pretty well. That emotional resilience, that being an athlete, that dealing with losing and failure, because that happens, like that's part, the very nature of athletics. That emotional resilience that you demonstrate, bouncing back from losses and from failures and results that you didn't really have planned, right? Those goals that didn't quite reach, what have you. That is what translates well into the academic performance and being somebody that a school would want. So that's another area of athletic training and development that you might want to consider showcasing, right? How it has toughened you up, made you more resilient. Because if you can show that in one area, that translates very well into other areas of your life. So let me kind of wrap this up by telling you about Ryan. And Ryan was a baseball player who, his junior year in high school, he was even an average player, right? He started, but he didn't stand out in any capacity. Middle infielder. And his team was a good team, right? Small state, one of the higher classes, not the top level class, but he was a good player, average player on a good team, not at the highest level within his state, which wasn't a highly popular state. Well, that junior year, in a playoff game with a game on the line, he struck out. Right? Now, that can haunt a kid, right? Has that potential to kind of break a kid's confidence. But in Ryan's case, he became more determined than ever to not let that happen again. So going into his senior year, he had prepared a lot better mentally to be able to do well. So if that moment came again, he would shine. And it did come again, but not actually on the baseball field. You see, Ryan was also, as many high school kids in smaller schools, he played multiple sports. Baseball he was better at than these other sports, but in the basketball playoff game, with time running out, play designed not for Ryan because he wasn't the best player, but for somebody else. But the play broke down as drawn up. And who ends up with a ball with time running down by a point, and who makes the game-winning basket at the buzzer but Ryan? And he credits the work that he did from that baseball experience to toughen him up mentally that gave him the opportunity to shine in basketball, which wasn't even his better sport. And that little story is what shined in the college application, right? An average player, not even the sport that he was best at, but he learned the lesson from that and transferred it into another one. He got into the college of his choice on the strength of that story. All right, well, that ends another one of my videos. As always, please consider subscribing to the channel because there's so much I'm putting out there. And the more you kind of check out some of these videos, you're going to find little nuggets from here, from some or the other. I would also encourage you to register one of my free webinars. The link to that will be in the description. And I would suggest you maybe check out The Psychology of Winning. That will kind of delve a little more into this kind of topic. So check that out today and come back and see us in another video.